Is knowing the Bible important for our relationship with God? If you said yes, you're right. Good job. Wasn't exactly a difficult question, but what I want us to think about is the fact that so often we fall into this trap of beginning to prioritize our knowledge over our relationship. And what I mean by that is, like, right off the top of my head, I could tell you there's 66 books in the Bible. Genesis is the first book, Revelation is last. The four Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Right? So it's like I tell you all these things, but the thing is, I begin to appreciate the validation from people saying, "Oh wow, that's impressive, good job," about knowing those things, rather than my relationship with God and getting His approval. And so what we do is we end up knowing those facts and then learning more about the Bible and learning more about the Word with like context and stuff, but we don't actually do it to grow with God. Or at least we think we are, but we're really not. We're doing it for honestly, just our own ego, right? And Jesus actually has something to say on this, right? It is in Matthew 23:25, where He says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you clean the outside of the cup and the plate, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence." Jesus is basically talking to the Pharisees, who are the number one example of this. They prioritize doing all like these rituals and all these traditions and stuff, right, over actually having their relationship with God. So what happened was Jesus was essentially just calling them out. He was saying, "Hey guys, you look good on the outside, like you do all the right stuff, you say all the right stuff, whatever, but then whenever you get down into like your heart, into your soul, I don't see God. God's not there." And that's exactly, like I said, that's exactly what we do. We prioritize our knowledge over our relationship because we want this affirmation from other people, and we honestly forget to ask it from God, which is the most important. Paul says, I don't quite remember the verse, but he says, "Am I looking for approval from man or from God?" So I want to ask you, who are you looking for approval from? Why are you memorizing all this stuff? Why do you know all this stuff? Because we sometimes forget why we started learning in the first place. So are you learning to get approval from people, whether it's friends or family or anyone else? Or are we looking to get approval from God? What really matters, and why this was all written in the first place. Who are you trying to get approval from? I just want you to think about that as you go into your week, and honestly, just as you go on through your life. Don't read the Bible and don't do all this stuff just because it looks good on you, but do it so you can actually grow and connect with God more. Go through your week, read your Bible, memorize it, learn from it, to connect with God, to get approval from God.